Forgiveness. One of the one of the biggest, I think, the most difficult thing about life, and I think one of the biggest challenges we face is having a forgiving attitude. I think for me in my life, and the reason I'm doing this is because I know it's not easy to forgive, and you can have a lot of reasons not to forgive. Like if I look at my life, for example, I, st- I was born in a family in Banana. Now, by the time I was 7 years old, we had an issue about property with my uncles. And from the time I was 7 to I think 8, 9, I was going to court to testify about our property. I had gone to see the chief with my mother, and my uncles were rejecting me. They actually rejecting me and rejecting my mother, saying that, if you reject the cow, you can also reject the rope that carries it. So, in Kikuyu saying, that's what it meant. So, if they didn't like my mother, so my mother and all her people, they didn't also like them. So, my uncles rejected us as early as when I was 7 years old. Can you imagine? And growing up and not and feeling that they took away something that is so valuable, which is our property, and it's very sentimental. But the thing that has kept me going is the forgiveness, because I forgive my uncles. In fact, they're all gone. Two of them are dead. My grandmother is also dead. I forgive them completely, to a point where I even employed their sons in TMX. And sometime I got a job to deliver directory in that area. I went to that home and picked my cousins who worked for me for a month or two. And some of them even came to work for me for a year or 2 or 3, because I forgave my relatives. Now, the thing about forgiveness is that, and this is what Christ says, even at his deathbed, he says, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. But the thing I have seen in life, and even in relationships, for example, you find that like a man, there's a girl probably you had, and you never went out with them, so, and they come back to you at some point in your life, and you want to follow that path to be able to achieve a certain goal which has no value whatsoever. And you realize that when you break free of that relationship because you've forgiven them, you realize that that thing that you're holding on to was vanity. Now, in business, and I think one of the things I may learn from politicians, and this is the most amazing part about them, is the level of forgiveness they have. Today, somebody can call you, like, look at the president and Raila. At some point, the president was calling Raila Mchawi, Mlevi. Now they are best of friends. Yeah, they're best of friends. For every conference, Uhuru goes, he calls Raila. 2 years ago, Raila and Ruto were very good friends. Now they're enemies. And I'm telling you, even in a few months, probably in the next elections, depending on the realignment, they might be very good friends. So politicians are, I think, the best example of people who don't carry grudges. Now, look at that level. Like Nelson Mandela said that if he leaves prison and does not forgive de Klerk, he was going to be in prison for the rest of his life. What he chose to do was to forgive. Now, ladies, I think the one thing that you do, and most of them do, is to hold on to things in their heart. Relationship that went bad, you're still holding that person in your heart, and the person is free, he's gone, moved on in his life, but you're still there holding on to something that is vanity. You go into another relationship, but because you've not forgiven the other person you were with, you bring that person into this relationship, then your relationship doesn't work. Why? Because you've not let go. It's not easy to let go, and I've had a bout of those issues where I try, especially in relationships, trying so hard to be able to forgive, and it's not easy. And sometimes you need to go down in prayer and ask God to help you forgive, because if you don't forgive, you'll carry. There's some people who've carried unforgiveness to their grave. There's some people who are sick because of unforgiveness. You're carrying a terminal disease because you never let go. And that's eating your mind, your brain, your heart, and before you know, you're having a heart attack or you're having cancer of something because of something you never forgive. Forgiveness can cause diseases. So I'm telling you now, my eyes open, that you need to get to a level where you let go. It doesn't matter how painful. Because I mean, if you get the good example of like Nelson Mandela, he was in prison for 28 years, yet he sat in the same table with de Klerk to talk about the unity of South Africa. I mean, that's the level of humility and level of forgiveness that a man is able to achieve. So you need to learn to let go. I have sometimes struggled, especially with relationships, where I carry things in my heart and it affects my decision making because some decisions are made. Sometimes you make irrational decisions because of a level or because of something you have not, some unforgiveness. I have staff who have left my organization and I've called them back because I forgave them for what they did. Even there's one time one actually stole, and I'm still paying a debt of I think about 300 or 400,000. When he needed an opportunity, and we had an opportunity, we called him back to work for us because you don't carry things in your heart. And I'm calling it now. You need to let go. You need to let go. You don't let go for that purpose, for that person. You let go for yourself so that you're able to be free and move to the next level. Because if you don't do that, what will happen is that you carry people in your life forever. And you die with somebody else's pain that you should have let go. So I hope that helps you. For me, I think forgiveness is a work in progress, but you must be deliberate to want to forgive and to let go for you to be able to get the next level. Thank you, and God bless.